Development meeting on chair here, on order. Can we just get a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting? Supervisor Montesi, seconded by Supervisor Beatty. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're going to let Ed start off and kind of do his
Thank you very
scenario,
much.
and then we'll get to...
Good morning. Thank you for your attendance this morning. We wanted to just kind of highlight some of the activities essentially between May and June of this year to update you in some particular areas. We had a number of activities relating to a variety of programs and projects. Lieutenant Governor came in the end of May and provided the final stamp of approval for the downtown revitalization announcement. We're still waiting for the protocol guidance on moving forward with that, which we expect within the next couple of weeks, because they already have interviewed and making recommendations on the second round of 10 additional cities. We had the opportunity to host a consolidated funding application information session in June at the library. We met with the Queensbury Town Board a couple of weeks ago. I have been asked and serve on the Airport FBO RFP committee, and we've had two recent meetings at the end of May and last Friday. We also, EDC serves on the Airport Advisory Committee chaired by Rachel. We're fortunate to have the Department of Labor, Commissioner Reardon, stop into the Department of Labor office at the Travelers Building, and we've been participating in the Queensbury Roundtable, and then tomorrow we have our luncheon there. Our next slide here, pay attention here. Commissioner Reardon was there, and there's about 26 companies that participated throughout Warren County in a focused job fair. There is Lieutenant Governor at the Civic Center. We are just ready to be launching, finally, our $500,000 new loan portfolio that is a combination of public funds from ESD and $250,000 from local banks in the area, that will be for bridging the gap for some that need an additional push for some new equipment or capital expansions, or for small loans in the range of $25,000 to $30,000 as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Bridge gaps, can we bridge gaps for bridges?
Unfortunately, I would defer to Mr. Tennyson for that. No, we can't use that.
Supervisor Bramer?
Unless you want to borrow, if you want to loan the money.
No.
We're lending you the money, about 12%. No, we can't. This is for the private.
I know.
Supervisor Bramer?
Thank you, Chairman. What is the Queensbury Roundtable?
Well, the Queensbury Roundtable was an idea spawned by myself and Michael Consulo of the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce, and it was an opportunity for Queensbury businesses to meet with me and other town representatives as to, what are their needs, what can we do to make things better for commerce and promotion of the town and promotion of business in the town of Queensbury.
So again, it's similar to because Queensbury didn't have a standalone Chamber of Commerce. They've been working with the Lake George Chamber, and it basically focuses on Queensbury businesses and activities. And so it's similar to what the Rotary Club up in Chester Horicon does in the area, and so other communities do that. It's just another vehicle, I think, for the business community and the public sector to get together and discuss concepts and ideas, to do that. And certain times on certain activities, we will go and participate and discuss with them aspects. Beyond that, they get into promotional activities and a whole array of items for Queensbury, but also they get into the region as well. As we all know in our area, when a new business comes to town or a new event is created, The event may be in a particular community of Queensbury or Glens Falls or Lake George, but the spillover effect of lodging is through the area. It's just like with an expansion of a business. Glens Falls Hospital expands in downtown Glens Falls. Many residents that from Queensbury work at the Glens Falls Hospital and from other areas, and the same with Hudson Headwaters. So we're really nearby areas. So the more that we can do and focus in a particular community, it has an impact through our region as well.
And that's right, and a continuous string through all of this. We've been meeting for, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years now. Has been regionalism is a better way to approach it for everybody, because if you put all the parts together, what we have to offer a visitor, it's overwhelming. So that's the best approach.
Okay, and speaking of that, we are very fortunate to continue to have an economic cluster of our medical devices in the area between AngioDynamics and CR Bard. We have about 2,000 workers. The facility of CR Bard is located on Bay Road in the town of Queensbury. AngioDynamics has facilities in both Glens Falls and Queensbury, and about 900 employees at each of the respective facilities. And again, the economic impact to the region is significant. And to learn more about that, we have our speaker from AngioDynamics at our luncheon tomorrow. The president and CEO, Jim, has been with AngioDynamics earlier this year. And prior to that, he worked a number of years, basically his entire life, he has been with the medical device industries. And prior to that, he worked a number of years at Covidien, but was not at Covidien in Argyle. He was in other locations in the area. And while we have officially closed reservations, if you do show up tomorrow, you are able to get in tomorrow. I think you'll find Jim very engaging, and will provide an update on Angio's plans, the economic impact of Angio, as well as the medical device industry in our area in New York State. We also, as I talked about, we're hosting and working with a number of municipalities and businesses, as is Wayne, for the upcoming round of the seventh year that we've had consolidated funding applications. The deadline, Wayne knows that as well as I, July 28th at 4 o'clock. Everything is online. And so we have been working with a number of towns, municipalities, and private companies. I think we have talked with about 20 to 25 companies and municipalities in our area collectively, and we're probably out of the 25 looking at a substantial number of applications ranging from the North Country through Queensbury and Glens Falls, and looking at some infrastructure projects in Luzerne and Stony Creek for consideration, as well as in the private sector for manufacturing. These are kind of the areas that are been focusing in our particular areas of sports and recreation, manufacturing, transportation, and infrastructure. And so again, what we try to do is we work directly with some in preparing the application. Others we provide some assistance. As an example, we had a call the other day from a guide company that's in the northern part of the county that was looking for overall thoughts on how we should prepare his application for some grant money to provide some infrastructure needs so he could do some expanding up in the North Country. And so we're more than happy in talking to them, and they email us on a regular basis. One of the key projects, of course, that we all should be supporting is the request by Mayor Blaze. Really, it's a request from our region, is in order to get $9 to $10 million for the wastewater treatment plant in the southern basin to this area here. The continued news of the closure of the $1 million beach is not helpful to tourism in this area. And listening to the radio this morning, they had some people on that were saying, while the state may ask the $1 Million Beach to reopen, it's okay, they're not sure they want to take their kids to the beach until they find out exactly. And my way of thinking, it shouldn't be taking this long to find out the source of that E. coli breakout in that particular area. And it's not, in my opinion, just from bird droppings. I mean, that's what they continue to say on a regular basis. It's bird droppings in that area. So I think that we really need to write and support Mayor Blaze for this in our area. We know the importance of the lake and the economic impact that it has, but beyond that, the quality of the water needs to improve in the area. One of the, and again, that's a project that Wayne is well familiar with, the Warren County Trails, to see how we can maximize our trails and potential tie-ins to the trail itself. One of the concepts that we brought out at the Queensbury workshop the other night was really we discussed the economic development in kind of 3 centralized zones within Queensbury. Not that development is not occurring outside those areas, but as an example, you look in the Western Opportunity Zone on the east and west side of Exit 18, you will see such a tremendous, in the last 7 years, from 2009 to 2017, a tremendous increase of businesses, as well as in the recreational area that I point out. The Sky Zone is about ready to open out there. Again, I think people are anxious to see, again, an opening of the Rocksport, which used to be on Quaker Road by, right downtown, right by Mickey Choppa and inside, Sports Page. I was going to say Inside Edge. Sports Page in that particular area. And again, the people at the rock climbing had spent about 2 years looking for a location. We met with them on a regular basis, and they located there again because of the proximity to the North Lake and the fact that they recognized that they weren't going to have to be dealing with septic too much longer by locating in that area there. There again is the sports complex, which has been developed, and we had some conversation on that. Also, we have been meeting regularly with Spencer and his other investors at West Mountain to see how we can be helpful, the state can be helpful to expanding their winter operation in their summer operation. Everybody is focusing on trying to expand their season into the summertime, which is important, but the bulk of their business is still skiing, and that we have to do what we can be helpful to and look for some state funding to assist West Mountain in expanding the snowmaking capacity as well as other activities out there. Again, the proliferation of lodging at Exit 18 with the Holiday Inn that is just about ready to open up momentarily. Jerry Nudie has put together a fine management team to operate that. Cary Park, I just alluded to the sanitary sewer extension that's going on in Queensbury. The healthcare center is well underway. They continue to expand out there. This is a key building that I talk about again from the region that could have capacity of 300 employees. It's vacant, 116,000. We have been working with Steve Borges, the realtor, on this piece of property for a couple of years. It's in excellent shape. That property there is about 9 acres of the building that it's on in the parking lot, but there's a total of 33 acres that is owned by that complex. So out of that 33, there's probably another 15 acres for expansion purposes. And we are hopeful and will continue to work and market those properties. There again is the second hotel. Edmore is going to be constructing a Fairfield Inn Marriott right off of Big Boom Road across from Carl R's and the former golf course, golf driving range out there. And again, if you look at 2009 on Exit 18, you'll see all kinds of wonderful subdivisions and proposals, but very little development there. Now, if you take a look at 2017, you can see the significant development that has occurred in that particular area. And while it's located in Queensbury, Its proximity to the Northway is attracting, particularly in the recreational area, visitors from throughout the region, as well as businesses that are locating there. Those residents are not all living in the town of Queensbury. We are continuing, and we have underway at both ends of our studies with GIS. We're working with the town of Queensbury, and we appreciate that. Thank you, John, for doing this. So we're starting at the southern end, and we've started up, Craig led off with concerns as well as proposals and ideas for economic development, both that exit at 25, both for Chester and for Horicon, and we look forward to more meetings with Craig and your group up there to see what we can come up with in our small little piece of what you're overall doing for your town up in that particular area. There are some of our marketing efforts in our region. And again, the Queensbury zone, I just wanted to highlight, these things are regional facilities that happen to be located in Queensbury. This facility is continuing to, if you've been out at the campus, you'll see that major improvements out there in our area. One of the things that we need to be taking more advantages of is Queensbury School is one of the few schools in the entire capital region. I think there are 2 other schools that offer an international degree. And this is important when we are recruiting new businesses to the area. More and more families are looking for their children to take advantage of this international program, as well as particularly those companies that have a number of employees that are from Europe or the Far East are looking for an international degree program. It's rather expensive to operate and undertake, but the nearest one besides Queensbury is Boston Spa. Has a program, and Niskayuna. I had assumed that Shenandoah had a program, but it does not. So this is something that we're going to be undertaking and promoting in our marketing, as well as assisting with Queensbury to make sure businesses that are locally are involved in that. So when they're recruiting, when the Department of Labor is recruiting people for this area, they're aware of this particular program. Again, Six Flag is a regional facility. They've been in the news the last day or two. That video is just strange. It's gone nationwide. On that major news for last night ago. There it is again. They may take the attitude of George Steinbrenner that any publicity is good publicity. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a great facility between 750 and 1 million people. That's about as specific as I can get. Visits that area, and they may be joined later next year by 18 dinosaurs that are going to be being proposed for the Lake George RV Park, just south of there. That John Lemery is working with his daughter and some others for that. And again, I think that will be an added attraction, and particularly something for the school kids to enjoy. They're very active. They're about 50 to 60 feet tall. It's a mini Jurassic Park that is going to be created there at the RV park in that particular.
All the beer at the hub.
Yes, that's right. Then again, we are in the final stages with working with the Department of Transportation and getting comments in the other day from Warren County DPW, so we're just about ready to be throwing that down. In the east again,
Starting, where is it in the process?
DOT has the Exit 20 study. DOT has completed their review and recommendations. Jeff Tennyson's group has submitted their tweaking of the RFP, and the advisory committee will meet, bless it, and be out the door, so that we hope we'll have interviews in August and start the project this fall is our goal for that project to occur. DOT, it was important for DOT to become involved. Initially, they did not, because it was a local advisory group, but through the efforts of John and others, we were able to have DOT join, because The study is only phase one, as we know. After you get the study done with the recommendations, we want to be able to go back to the state and the federal government and ask for funds. Whatever the recommendations are, it's not going to be 100% funded by the state or the federal government in likelihood, and that's why the county has representatives on this as well, is that there's going to be some funding potential requests to Warren County as well for this project. Again, so those are one of the concepts that we have talked about with Queensbury, is to take a look at, in a more comprehensive way, the properties in this area around the airport. Airport has property outside the airport that is deemed aviation and non-aviation. But besides that property, you have the Queensbury Business Park, you have Warren, Washington, you have the private ownership of Vic Macri on the south side of the airport, and you also have Ciba-Geigy. So minimally, you have 700, is probably more than that, acreage of potential development in this particular area. And rather than trying to piecemeal our marketing strategies for one business park by itself or IDA, we really are looking for a CFA to identify a strategic plan for us to come up with and work on and promote as part of our Warren County effort in the area. And then finally, EDC continues to work with each city on the DRI. There is our group. We thank them very much, and there's our contact information. And again, our work is to advocate for Warren County, for municipalities, as well as the private sector in the field of economic development.
Yes, Supervisor Montes.
Just a little bit of information. The monthly we have the Intercounty Meetings where we visit different counties, and Ed helped us put together when we were the host, we visited Angiodynamics and had a tour of their facility, and then went down the road and had lunch at the Aviator restaurant. So that was a nice venue that day. And then the other question that I have is, we've really talked about Ciba-Geigy's site and the potential for either a solar farm there that would generate a source of revenue, or a composting facility that the city of Glens Falls may need. And both of those concepts would not require us to go into the ground, which you can't do on that site. And I just wondered where we are on that, Ed.
I would defer to Town Supervisor John on that. The EDC serves on the task force for potential projects with Ciba-Geigy.
Well, and you can go into the ground, but you have to go through DEC procedures, and it would tend to be more expensive to build that way than otherwise. We met with BASF representatives, and
They're the owners of Ciba-Geigy now.
Yes. And they are open to allowing a ballast type solar farm there, where they were opposed to it before, but they see the benefits of something like that for themselves. And again, since it's a ballast type, there would be little or no penetration into the soils. But the soils, at least the top 2 feet or so, have been mitigated and are designated clean by the DEC, from what I understand.
That's correct.
So, so there is possibilities for other kinds of development there. But if we could get some kind of a community solar there, where the local community, which tends to be low income, might even be able to benefit from that, it'd be a win-win situation. So we're working on that.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it, okay? Okay, Wayne.
Okay, I printed 15 of these, and I was going to use mine off the phone, but the county's internet is down, so I can't access what I need. So, I have 2 requests for the committee for consideration. I'd like to increase the part-time salaries. We finally had a release of funds on our community development block grant for the countryside sewer extension. There's administrative dollars in there, and I want to be able to keep the staff people person to implement that. So it's zero net impact on the county budget.
Matt?
Make the motion.
I'm sorry?
Make the motion.
Okay, motion by, second by Supervisor Leggett. Any discussion? All those in favor? Or, go ahead, John.
It would come from what you already have in your budget?
It'd come from the grant.
Oh, it comes from the grant?
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
all right, yeah, that's what I wanted to make
Okay,
clear.
great, thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
all right.
Go ahead.
The second one is, the county was awarded funding in last fall, and in anticipation of finally getting our contract, the county was awarded $520,300 under the local waterfront program, and the second resolution is to set up Capital Fund 372 to administer those funds.
Great. Motion by Supervisor Montesi, second by Supervisor McDonald. Any discussion on the issue? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
All right, under the other information for discussion review, I just want to bring up again, we were awarded funding for 10 separate projects for in the 2016 award. The clock has started on that. When the award date was last October, we still do not have our contract, although they keep telling me it's imminent. With those 10 projects, that would bring to 40 different projects that we're currently working on in the First Wilderness Program, to the tune of about $7.34 million worth of projects. So, just wanted to give that update. We have started something, and I saw Ed put up the trails. We started a project about a month ago in the First Wilderness Program, which is the River Rail Corridor, the Hudson River communities, and Hadley and Corinth and Saratoga County are signed the Memorandum of Understanding, intermunicipal agreement for this program, because we all share the River Rail Corridor. We started what we call the Trail of the Week, and we were putting up on the Facebook page different trails throughout the corridor, and we were getting, 800 views and some shares and whatever. And a couple weeks ago, I talked to Joanne in tourism, and I said, geez, would you guys share that on your county page? And this week we're at 7,800 views and 12 shares. So, just being that cooperation between departments, I want to publicly thank Joanne for doing that. And, just working together, we're able to really put more out there on the recreational opportunities that we have. So I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up and thank her for that. So, and that's really all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you very much, Wayne. I think it's just where you are in the electronic format world, okay, where you're positioned gives you an opportunity to get exposure. So that's good for all concerned. So that was a good idea. Thank you, Wayne. Any further discussion? Anybody from the public that would like to make a comment? Unseen, can I get a motion to adjourn? Supervisor Bramer, seconded by Supervisor Strow. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Can you give us an update?